Lena woke up in the middle of the night, needing to use the bathroom. Still half asleep, she shuffled down the hallway of the small house she had just moved into. The wooden floor creaked softly beneath her feet, and the air felt colder than it had earlier that evening. After finishing, she walked back toward her bedroom, rubbing her eyes. But as she reached the bed, she noticed something. The curtain beside her window wasn't fully closed. A thin strip of moonlight stretched across the floor like a pale blade. With a quiet sigh, Lena walked over to pull the curtain shut. But as she reached for it, she glanced outside and froze. Standing on the lawn in front of the house was an old man. He wasn't moving. He wasn't calling for help. He was just standing there, staring directly at her window. His clothes were torn and dirty. His hands were covered in dark, wet blood, and on the grass beside him, a machete lay glinting under the moonlight. Lena's heart slammed against her chest. The man slowly tilted his head, still staring at her. With a gasp, Lena yanked the curtain closed and ran back into the bathroom. Her hands shook violently as she grabbed her phone. "Call the police. Call the police," she whispered. But her fingers trembled so badly she could barely unlock the screen. And then, the phone slipped from her hands. It fell straight into the toilet. The screen flickered once, then died. Lena stared into the water in horror. Now, she was completely alone. And somewhere outside, that man was still standing on her lawn. Lena had only moved into the small town a few days earlier. She had just landed an internship in the nearby city and needed somewhere cheap to stay. Most apartments were far too expensive, so she rented an old house on the edge of town. The rent was incredibly low, almost suspiciously low. The house itself was small, old, and a little isolated, but Lena didn't mind. She told herself it was only temporary. Every day, she walked to work along a quiet road lined with trees and empty fields. The walk was peaceful, at least at first. On the second evening, something felt wrong. As she walked home, Lena suddenly had the strange feeling that someone was watching her. She turned around. The road was empty, only the wind moving through the tall grass. She shook her head. "Stop being paranoid," she whispered to herself, but the feeling didn't disappear. The next evening, something else happened. As Lena walked home again, she heard footsteps behind her, quick ones. She glanced back. A man was walking along the same road, not extremely close, but close enough to make her uneasy. Her pace quickened. The footsteps behind her quickened too. Her breathing became shallow. Fear crept into her chest. Suddenly, Lena started running. Her bag bounced wildly as she sprinted down the dirt road. Behind her, she heard someone shout, "Wait!" But panic had already taken over. Her foot caught a rock. She tripped and crashed hard onto the ground. Pain shot through her knee. Before she could get up, the man rushed toward her. Her heart pounded, but instead of attacking, he knelt beside her. "Hey, are you okay?" he asked. His voice sounded genuinely concerned. Embarrassed and shaken, Lena nodded. "I thought you were following me." The man looked confused. "I was just trying to return this." He held up her wallet. Lena stared at it. It must have fallen from her bag earlier. Her face flushed with embarrassment. "Thank you," she said quietly. The man smiled and helped her up before continuing down the road. Lena watched him disappear into the distance. Her heart was still racing. Maybe fear is just getting to me, she thought. But the next morning proved otherwise. When Lena opened her front door to leave for work, she saw something strange on the doorstep. A single drop of blood, dark red, fresh. Her stomach twisted. Then she noticed something else. Footprints, bare footprints, leading away from the house into the grass. Lena stared at them silently, then shook her head. "You're imagining things again." But deep down, she wasn't sure anymore. That evening, the walk home felt longer. The road seemed quieter than usual. Every sound made her jump. A branch snapping, leaves rustling. For a moment, she thought she heard footsteps again. She turned around quickly. Nothing. She hurried the rest of the way home. When she finally reached the house, relief flooded through her. She locked the door behind her. Safe. Or so she thought. Later that night, she woke suddenly. Dogs were barking somewhere in the distance. Loud. Angry. One after another. Then suddenly, they all stopped. Complete silence filled the night. A heavy, unnatural silence. Lena turned over, trying to ignore it, but after a moment, she realized she needed to use the bathroom again. She sighed and got out of bed. The house felt colder than before. After finishing, she walked back toward her bedroom. As she passed the window, she noticed the curtains slightly open. Moonlight spilled into the room. She reached to close it and glanced outside. The old man was back, standing on the lawn again, blood dripping slowly from his hands, the machete lying beside him. His eyes locked onto hers. Lena's body flooded with fear. She ran back to the bathroom, trying to call the police, but her phone was gone, dead in the toilet. Minutes passed, her breathing slowly calmed. Finally, she looked through the window again. The man was no longer standing. He was on his knees, holding his stomach. "Please," he cried weakly. "Help me." Lena hesitated. Her fear battled with her conscience. Finally, she unlocked the door and stepped outside. The night air was freezing. She approached slowly. Suddenly, the man grabbed her wrist. His eyes were wide with terror. "Run," he whispered. "Run and don't look back. They're coming." Lena's heart pounded. "Who's coming?" she asked. But the man collapsed in pain. And then she heard something behind her. A slow, chilling laugh. Lena turned around. A tall figure was walking toward her from the darkness. Very tall. Too tall. The moonlight barely revealed his face. Lena ran. Her lungs burned as she sprinted down the road. But the footsteps behind her didn't rush. They walked. Slow. Calm. Like they knew she couldn't escape. Lena looked back in terror and ran straight into someone standing in front of her. Strong arms grabbed her. A hand covered her mouth. A deep voice whispered into her ear, "Don't scream. If you scream, it's over." Ropes tightened around her wrists. A black cloth covered her head. Then headlights appeared. A van screeched to a stop beside them. The door slid open, and they threw her inside. The engine roared. The van sped into the darkness, and Lena's muffled screams disappeared into the night.
Part 2 is coming soon. Please like and subscribe and turn on the notification button.